What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 or 7. 7. Episode 6 of our UK City Skylines 2 build, Saltmarsh. And let's just say the past few episodes have been a little bit unstructured, and let's just say I don't really like how our builds have come together. So in today's episode, what we're going to do is this is mainly going to be focused around detailing. So how to make the build look better. And also we need to start this train connection, because realistically this is really bad and I don't like it. But what we're mainly referring to is over here. So if we look at our bus station stuff, our bus station is just placed down. I would rather have it, being sort of an industrial complex behind, or a bit more over here with, let's just say, our post office and our post vans, where they can have an area to park all their trucks, and there's some trucks parked, as well as, just make sure that everything's just a little bit more detailed and less sort of just placed down. So I like what we did in the last episode, where we went in and added all these farms. I think they added a lot to this area. We've got a lot of buildings complaining over here what we are going to fix. It looks like our traffic's working quite well. It does get a little bit backed up over here. Yeah, it does get a little bit backed up, but it's probably because this road is so slow. But it works. So I think our first thing, what we're going to do is first, I just want to pause the game. See what... Yeah, 31 passengers. Are we getting actual use out of our trains? 1 passenger. Bloody hell. How many people are waiting at the train station? 29 waiting. We've got 120 waiting over here, so hopefully they all get picked up. So I think our new transport options are getting used. We did add in all the bus routes again. It seems like it was some sort of issue with how they were, what was stopping them from actually working properly. But as said, what we're now going to do is we're going to fix this. So what we are going to have to sadly do is spend some money just to buy some map tiles so we can sort this out properly, because I don't really want to cheat it. So we'll buy 2. It's going to be 120,000. And how do you want this to work? So we're going to pause it. It is paused. And what we want to do is we just want to delete. What we want to do is we want to delete this, basically this whole section of track there. And then basically all of this, and basically all of this. Now, what we want to do is we want to delete that, and that's technically not in our zone, but we're going to do a little cheat, and we're going to pretend it's in our zone. We're going to cheat and pretend it's in our zone. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our electrify track. So, 4 lane. What was it? No, we don't want that. Okay, so we want our... Let's find where our track is. We'll use our normal track for now. And then we can add passing traffic if we want. We'll turn on anarchy just for now. And we'll connect on to here. So what we want to do is we want to bring it down, but not as so much of a curve. We then want to take it out. Well, no, we'll take that. Is that turned into a bridge? It is turned into a bridge. We don't want a bridge there. Yeah, we don't want a bridge there. So what we are going to do is we're going to just delete this section of road, and we're just going to flatten out this hill just a little bit. No, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to have that as flat. So what we want to do is we want to just take all this, and we just want to soften. Yeah, we want to bring this back because we don't want it to be flat. Okay, so what we want to do is we sort of want to follow the curves while making it easy for us to add in new add the connection over here. So we want to take this, and we can do the road later. That's fine, because the road can go under. So what we do want to do is we want to do a long curve to curve it over here, which will then bring us into here, which will then delete this and make that the curve. So then it will take it all the way over. It's a bit bumpy. Yeah, this is a bit bumpy down here. So this is simple. What we can do is we can select the node and we can literally just raise, or we can we just select this node? Oh my god, we don't want that. But yeah, that works. So then it sort of just cuts through. And this is what you would see. You would see it just cutting through the countryside. The only problem is we've got this hill here where it sort of just goes up. That was sort of our own doing there. But then that should give us... We're going to have to delete this fence here. Was kind of sad. But we'll do it. Do we need better bulldozer on for that? Yeah, we do. Okay. Right, that's fine. So we'll get rid of that. Now, what we need to do is we need to... how do we do this? We got the train station here, and I think that's a massive issue. So what I think we need to do is put the train station on a road that... And so, let's just say here, for example. These trains need to enter that yard there. So... we want to actually turn off anarchy for this. We want to make it a realistic turn. Invalid shape. Is that an invalid shape? No, it's not. So then we take that, and then we take a similar piece of track right next to it. Bring it over. And then curve it in. But then what these two do is it's not even nearly closely lined up to here at all, is it? But we can connect those, that's not a big deal. And then all we need to do with this is connect it in here. Okay. And then, is this going to be dodgy to make it go... No. Just up into there. No, that's fine. Okay. So we've got the first sort of connection in. It's a little less dodgy than we had it before. Or do we actually? We do want to allow passing traffic. But what we could do is then have... Let's just take our... Wait, guys, I am cooking. Okay, there is a one. There's a... Right, this train station. We don't want this train station. It's way too big. But do we have one? So we have the EE one. We don't want the small elevated one. We want a... Okay, we might not have any options, guys. I might not be cooking here. Small, non-electrified. Is this the one we've got? No, because that's small, non-electrified. We want one that is electrified. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, don't worry. We've got the correct train station here, what we want. So, what we're going to do is we are actually going to make the entrance to the depot just a little bit longer here. And we're going to select all of this. We're just going to get rid of this, this, and this. It's going to make it a little bit longer walk into the industrial zone. But that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to place a road over here. A road here. Where we're then going to place our train station on. So boom, train station goes there. Which then means what we can do is connect, delete that. We can connect the train station here. If we take this, take it forward, and then we just don't want it to be such a curve in. So we want to like bend it. And we turn on anarchy. Nope. It doesn't mind this curve in. So we can have that trains curve in, which means it does allow for passing traffic. No, and we definitely don't want it to be. But then we've got an entrance in here that is sort of dodgy because of the height difference, but it'll work. Let me actually just put a key wall on here. Yeah, let me just upgrade this part down here with the key wall. Does that make it better? No, it doesn't. Okay. Let's move it, and let's just move. No, okay. Right, what we're going to do is we're just going to delete this. Right, guys, sorry. What we're going to do is we're going to get this to connect. So it turns out of the train station. And I know in UK we normally have it so they just go, like the passing traffic just comes straight through the train station. No, we don't want this. We want it to connect in earlier, to be fair. So let's actually do this again. Delete this. Pick a pick of this. We want it coming off here. So that means a nicer curve in. Yeah, beautiful. So that allows for the passing traffic. But then what that means is we can then go, here's our rail yard. The trains need to get into it so they can come off. We sort of want a curve. Oh, it's because we haven't got a curve tool then. No. We also want to downgrade all these to not have a key wall, to be fair. I don't know why they all have a key wall. So then this, if people want to get into the trains or into this depot, they just go in through this road here. Yeah, we'll need to move. We can easily move this road in a bit. No. Move this road. No. 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 Right. No. Right, move it. This road node here. No, just this road node. Oh my life. Guys, I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't want to work properly. Right. Anyway, the point is that we can get, we'll delete this quick so it works properly. My point is that we can get traffic that comes off this route here. Does a lovely little turn. It doesn't need to turn much more. But it can come in. That is a bit of a narrow or a bit of a curve. But to be fair, when they're coming into the depot, they shouldn't be going really fast anyway. Then what we do is we then delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this road quick. And this road quick. Just down a bit. Then all we need to make this just a little bit less complicated is to have this one join in here. And then any traffic that wants to get from over here, so this depot to this depot, we can just see. Why is it doing such a... It does such weird... Oh, I like the complex curve tool, but it doesn't need to do what it's doing. Can come off and come straight up into here and then into there. So that makes that way less confusing. So we've got, to be fair, this could come more forward. But we've got trains, if they want to come into this depot, come in here. If they want to come into this depot, they'll just need to... If they want to come into this depot here, what will they do? They'll come off here. Yeah. Just through there and through there. And it is a bit confusing how this works, but it is a lot simpler and will look a lot nicer than we had before. And then we'll just do a load bunch of trees. But this is, yeah, this is forward enough that all of our trains can get in. I like that. Then what we do is we then connect a road across, and we can have these road crossings. That does not matter to me. What we will do is we will connect up some paths, so some walking paths. So do you know what? I'm going to go into a time lapse and add these walking paths in, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so we've made our bridge over here. I think it looks good. The only other thing I want to do is add some parking, just in case people are weird and they want to take a car from over here to over here. So we'll just add... Do you know what we'll add? We'll just add a little bit of parking like this on. And then we can just add some other parking bays, maybe with like electric parking. Yeah, maybe with some electric parking onto here. And then, no, the accessible bays wouldn't really be over here. They would be on the actual train station itself. So there may be just some accessible bays outside the front of the train station. No, they're not going to be connected, so we won't even bother with them. And then we'll just add in just a few more along here. And that is as simple as just going and getting our road texture and adding it on. So I'll be back in a second. And then what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll add some additional, yes, just some additional details to this area now. Okay, right, that's all the fencing done for this area. Then what we got to do is we do need to link up this and over there, which should be pretty easy with a bridge. So let's do... Okay, right, so it needs to go up to 7.5. But we'll do 8. Just to be safe. So 7.5, we'll do 8.7. Okay, we'll do 7.5 because it's a lot more manageable. Nope, we will not be doing 7.5 because if you look... Yeah, we're not doing 7.5, we're doing 8.75. And then that should pass over, I think. We ain't got any bad conflictions, do we? Nah, it'd be a 4, okay. So then we've got all of this. Should be connected, except for this. They'll disable bay here. Yeah, what we're just going to get rid of. Yes. Okay, right, then... Let's turn on our trains. and see if this works properly. So hopefully people are still using this, or will use this station. The only other thing we probably want to do is get our parking options and just add in some bike parking. Nothing expensive, because it wouldn't really be that, like, we wouldn't really got a lot of funding. Well, already needed a lot of funding to build this whole place to begin with. Okay, they are all using this lovely bridge that we built them to get over and then to their workplaces. So let's see. The viaduct's working well. It does sort of just go up and then dip. That's fine. And then we've got, hopefully it creates less traffic, because any passing traffic can just go straight through. They don't have to come through our train station. It would have been better if we built it into the line. That would have been much more of a UK vibe. But because we had to add in this, it works well. And then the only other thing we should probably do is go in with our trees. Make sure we turn off anarchy. And then we just go in and we add a bunch of trees. And then what we could do is, if they don't look appropriate for the area, we get rid of them. But let's just add in a bunch of trees. Yep, so we just add in a bunch of trees to this area. And then it will just make it look a lot better. Okay, so I rather this area now. It does look nice. It does fit the vibe we're going for. It's got our train depots, what we really needed. And if you didn't, and we didn't show in last episode, but we did add in a bit more of a custom, or at least a custom train here. What's never going to move, but it's just there to look nice. And we've got our train station. We've got our passing trains that can just go through. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to one of our trains. So this is one of our trains. Hopefully we still get a lot of people using the station, even if we ain't got a load of things. Is this turn really dodgy? No, it's not. It's sort of just a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, do we have a lot of people waiting? Yeah, people are going to wait for this train. We're going to board 55, so people are going to use this to get to work, which I like. People are then going to use our parking. Beautiful. And yeah, see, this train then waits for the faster moving train. What is how trains work? You normally wait for the faster moving trains to go through, and then our slower train will go through, because I believe he will travel slower than our other one. And then we should have only one of these on the line, so it shouldn't block up the line too much. We then have him coming in here, disembarking his passengers. Do we have many people waiting? We have 200 people waiting here. What are they waiting for? Is there any bus services that we can improve? Because we are about to go mess about with the buses anyway. So, no. No, this has gone up to 70% usage, but that is fine. We're still going to keep one bus on that route anyway. So as you see, has it let the fast... Does fast train go in? Yeah, fast train's gone first. Which means our slower train will then come along the tracks. It was important to me to add the fencing around. I think it adds that detail, like it just adds it. I don't know how to even describe it, but it adds a level of realism to it. So look, he comes in. We then have our faster train. So yeah, it is perfectly timed. Is he carrying? Yeah, he's carrying passengers. People are still willing to walk this far. And then, yeah, it's actually worked quite well, to be fair. It's working beautifully. Okay, so the next revamp I want to move on to is what's going on with our garbage and our postal. Now, realistically, I want these to have their own estate, but that would mean buying more squares, and I don't really want to buy more squares, and I don't want to put them all the way out here, because that wouldn't make sense. So, oh, this cove's going to be beautiful. Okay, so what we want to do is we sort of want to look at this area and want to see what we can do with it. So we've got this whole bit over here that is up on the mountain. So could we carve a little bit of space out of it? So let's go. Let's then flatten all. No, we don't want to soften it. We want to flatten it. So can we flatten a bit more space out of this chunk here? Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to go in with our trees, and luckily I placed all these, so I should be able to erase them all. Hopefully. Hopefully. It lets me erase them. No, it does not. Right. Oh, how useful is that? Not very. Okay, so what I want to do is, for this, we've got our McDonald's there. What's fine. What we want to do is we want to bring a road that comes off here, down here. It's then going to carry on going straight down. It will then turn to then meet up with the McDonald's road. And then what we can do is, off the back of this, we can move, and people are using the Mackies, was good. We can move some of our service, some of these. So I want to move the post office to be on this road here. So he's going to be there. So then, okay, right. Which means then we can. Is there going to be? How big is this? Or can we move the Mackies over? And holy, this is unrealistic, guys. Imagine they just... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the power line. Imagine a redeveloper just comes and moves whole buildings. Yeah, doesn't happen, but... we were sort of doing this for convenience and didn't actually think about what we might need to do with this area, especially to make it look a lot nicer than it currently does. So let's go and let's move him right next to that and connect him in. Beautiful. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have our post office here. What I then also want to do is then want to move our other post offices that are not really up. Yeah, to be fair, they're not really needed, but they don't cost us much, so I don't mind having them. And you know what? These can just be added. Save. These just be added, and what we're going to do is we are going to use move it just to get that as close as possible as we can, and then we'll have to go through and get rid of all these plants. So we'll get that as, yeah, do you know what? Let's get rid of these plants quick. So then we have another post office there, so they take it from the regional, and these can be sort of like partnered ones as well. But since they're all under the same company, I would rather have them next to each other. So then what we have is, yeah, that needs road access, and this building will not count as road access. Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll place this next to it, use move it, and then inch it. To be basically right next to it. And then what we'll do is we'll go with the plants, and then do you know what, I'm going to take you all into a time lapse while we go through and we detail this hopefully massive storage system or postal warehouse. So I'm back on it, guys. Okay, so what we've done now is we have fully added our postal office. I think this looks a lot better than what we had before. It took a while to add all the details in, but I think this makes the postal office seem bigger than it's meant to be. It also means that we've got a lot of storage, or fake storage for the trucks, what are going to be based here out of the postal centre. So the next thing we want to do is sort of think of the other places that we want to improve. So we've got a few recycling centres here, which we will then probably add. And then we've got the bus station that we would have a bit more detail to. Now, I think what we want to do is we want to do this recycling centres next, but I don't know where we want to put them. We might want to put them near the edge here, maybe, but we'll need to flatten a bit of area down here for it. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we will just go in and we will flatten just a little bit of this hill here. And I know how bad it is, guys, that I just keep on flattening stuff, but we sort of just have to be fair, to get this area working for us as we want. So we're going to flatten all of this down. And then this will become our new sort of garbage disposal area. So do you know what? I'm going to go back into a short little time lapse where we'll make this garbage area. So I'll see you all in a little bit. Okay guys, so we've completely finished with another one of our revamps. This is of the garbage centre. I think this looks really cool. We've got a few extra trucks, areas for people to drop off their rubbish if they're just coming. Yeah, some additional spaces, and I think it works good. We've also got a stop sign here, so it looks like people are waiting for the barrier. What I think is pretty cool. Of course, people are going to be coming in and out. We're going to run this in 2 times. But I see people stop and then leave. Well, it looks like they're going to be waiting for the barrier, even if they are not. The only other thing I think I'll want to do, and we might save it for another episode, I'm not sure yet, is going to be our bus station. Like I said, I think all of this just adds a lot of detail to the city. It makes it look more fulfilled, and I would like to make these areas will employ people just a little bit more detailed in the future. We're just going to go over to here to see what is going on. This does connect up over here, so we are able to get the services. It just takes a lot more time to get over here. I'm really happy with what we've done over here. And then coming back over here, like I said, the garbage area looks sick. Our new mailing and sorting facility looks sick. I think the only other one we want to do is the bus station. The only problem is over here is not the best place for the bus station. I'm not going to lie. How many vehicles are in maintenance? Not a lot. I do want to put the bus station over here, but if they want to go for maintenance, they're going to have to go very far away. Very far away to get that maintenance done. We have 0 people waiting, but we've got 2 trains. Let's see. Let's see how full these ones are. So we've got 14 people and then 9 people. Oh, that is annoying that we have the slower train going first. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I would have... If we could control which one went first would be better, but we can't. We've got anyone waiting here. 21 passengers waiting. It's good to see that people are still using our train station, even though we've moved it. Yeah, it is a lot of capacity, even though we don't need that much capacity, but it's fine. So I think the other thing is we might... Give me a sec, guys. I need to sneeze. I'm kind of thinking we move the bus station over here. It wouldn't mean more flattening. Yeah, it would mean we'd have to flatten a lot more of the area, but it would mean that we could have a better industrial district over here with the buses also included. So I think that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to have to, sadly, flatten a lot of this area. I think we just get rid of this hill, to be fair. Yeah, I think we just knock out this hill. It's not needed. I absolutely hate having to do this because wherever we're sort of going, we're sort of just flattening. What isn't the best, but it is really hard. Or at least I found it really hard to build with curves and stuff. And then we can build this out just a little bit more. Just a little bit. And then use our soften tool. Just to completely soften this whole area up. Make it seem a lot better than it actually is. Because as you can see, it is absolutely disgusting. Right. But it does give us this big area to work with here. So I think what we do is we bring a road that curves. I think we bring it right up here. And then curve it. Because it's for the buses, we then add a medium cul-de-sac for the buses to turn around. And then what we do is we move our bus station all the way from over here, which does employ, to be fair, it employs quite a lot of people. So we move this bus station all the way over here to this area. We then place it. This should then mean that we can, one, probably add an extra garage, but do we want the extra garage yet? No, we don't. Electric buses. We don't want electric buses. Okay, so we've got this area here. Now, what we want to do with it, to detail it, is first start with expanding the surface out. And I think we do it out backwards, to be fair. So let's make sure this is snapping to 90 degrees. Bring it out. And then what we do is we take this. Nope, we don't do that. Oh, these are so many different surfaces. That makes that so much more confusing. Okay, so we take, not this one. Remove that. So then we take this one out at, no, we want it at 90 degrees. We'll remove that mound in a minute. We can then connect this back up. But then we're going to take this out one. This out to be 109 degrees. And then take this one out to be 109 degrees. That's not 190, and we know that. Okay, so it needs to be 100, and this one needs to be 180. So we've got 180 and 90. Beautiful. Then what we do is we just go over with our tool, and we just flatten that down. Beautiful. That does bend, but that is fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to continue this fence. So is it a net lane? Yes, it is. Beautiful. We'll recolor it to match. And we just bring it down, down, then up. And we take it straight across to meet up. Oh, no, we just take it. No, I've done that wrong, guys. So what we do is we bring it down, and then we bring it straight down. And hopefully that does not block any of the net lanes. No, it won't. Beautiful. And then we want to make this area just look a little bit prettier. So when we start, we'll turn off snapping. We'll start where the buses stop. So here, and then we'll just bring... Actually, that's probably give you a better idea to start at the corner. Bring it off the end. And bring it almost straight down. And do the same down here. So we can bring it down. Just to follow this fence. then I believe that this adds a lot of detail to the area. Makes it look a little bit nicer to work at. So, what do we want out the back of our bus station? I've never really seen bus stations in real life, to be fair. What we do want to do is go onto our surfaces, and we do just want to boink. For crying out loud. Okay, right. Let's really get this all drawn in then. I'll take you to the time that's why we draw this, guys. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that build. All that time lapse where we built the bus station. I like the bus station, to be fair. It adds a lot more detail to the area. It looks like they are managing a lot more buses than they actually are. And we've got an extra garage here, so it allows for us to use more buses in the future. To be fair, I'm pretty happy with a lot of the stuff we've done. We've got in the train here. It's got nearly nobody. Nobody's using this parking. But to be fair, they would need to get the buses over. It actually looks like we've got a lot of passengers who are actually using the train station. Well, it's nice to see. Let's put it on play. It looks like our city is working well. So just to recap what we've done our sort of mailing facility over here. We've done our garbage depot. We've done over here. We've basically made our train look nicer and of course work nicer for us. We've then done our bus station, and then I think a lot of this stuff will just be done with time when we come through and upgrade, let's just say, the industry. We'll detail that a little bit more when we come across it. We've added a lot of farmland here. I'm kind of tempted to carry on the farmland over here so it's not a massive like gap between the industry and the farms. I want to check how many people are actually using these trains though. I like just keeping... So we've got 51 people on that. This one comes in and we've got probably, yeah, quite a few people loading on. 99 passengers or 200 passengers waiting is sort of a scam. I don't know if it's 200 people waiting, but we'll have a little look at our buses. Make sure none of these are overused. Nah, they're working at pretty good capacity. 3 buses, 2 buses. Might just want to add one more onto here since we've got the buses to facilitate it. Nearly no one's using our coach services, but they're not meant to use or have a bunch of people use them. It's just enough that our city works. It doesn't look like this is getting too backed up anymore now. We've got all the extra lanes and people are walking everywhere. What I love to see. Our unemployment rate, to be fair, probably hasn't changed since we've sat most of this episode on pause. Yeah, 2.7%, lovely. We've got our trains coming in. Only 8 people, but to be fair, like I said, we don't need a bunch of people using it, just enough. Look, 100 people they are all wanting to leave the city. Well, it's kind of sad, but it does mean that we are got a healthy amount of people coming in and out. Only losing 5 people an hour. That's nice. That isn't bad. So I think what we're going to do is that episode has been really short, but it has meant that we were able to upgrade a lot of things. I know it's probably mostly time lapses, but it means that episode 7 is going to be expanding down here with some more housing and some more purpose-built infrastructure. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. If I haven't already said today, make sure you like and subscribe and leave comments. We're going to add districts to all of these areas and give them some proper names in the next episode as well. So, like I said, hope you all enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, guys.